What's going on YouTube? It's Smoke here. Today I wanted to look at a haircut I did the other day. I wanted to kind of walk through the haircut with you guys. It's not really a tutorial, just kind of a step-by-step process of what I did with this haircut. But the main point of this video is to kind of show you guys kind of the things that I do to ensure that that clients that I deal with are satisfied. And in this case, first-time clients, make sure that they're satisfied to the point where they want to come back. So let's get right into it. So this is the homie Mon. This is a friend of my uncle's who owns the shop that I'm in. He's been living in Memphis for the past 6 or 7 years. He just moved back to this area recently. He had one experience with a barber in my area and it didn't go well. So I'm kind of not only introducing myself, but trying to fix what he didn't like about the first haircut. So this is just going to be a simple fade all the way around, simple skin fade all the way around. From the dense part of his hair up to the top of his head, he does not want that touched at all. At least that's what he tells me here. So we're just doing a simple fade up to the dense dark area at the top of his head. So as you can see, I'm currently putting the bottom line in. I don't usually use liners to put the ball line in, but what I've been doing all day today is using my Gold FX to put the lines in, and using my new Babyliss FX3 to get the lines out. Those things are ridiculously sharp. If you haven't seen them or you hadn't tried them, check out my last video. I did a video with them. They are ridiculous. So right now I'm just debulking the area that I want to fade. I'm just using no guard, open all the way, and I'm just kind of getting rid of that bulk. While I'm doing this, I just want to point out that when we were shooting this, I had no idea it'd be a video. I just recorded all my cuts. So I am missing some parts of the cut, like the other side of his head. I don't show that on camera because I didn't know that we'd be using this for a video. We just vibing. I was just cutting normally like the camera wasn't there. And yeah. So as the cut is going on and before I actually started rolling the camera, one of the things that I like to do with new customers is I like to make sure I understand exactly what they want. You'll hear me ask him several times what kind of cut he wants, even if I understood him the first time, because one, that shows my level of understanding, and it shows him that I'm being active and making sure that I'm trying to get him the cut that he wants. So as you can see, I already put my open line in, and I'm starting to work at that bottom line now. Now, the system I like to use once I put the open line in, I like to hit at the bottom line with no guard and the clippers halfway closed. I understand off the rip that that's not going to get the line out, but what it will do is soften not only the line itself but the lower part of the fade. It just gives it a really polished look once you get done with the fade. But the main purpose is to just soften that bottom line. It's not going to get it all the way out because we put that in with the liners, remember, but it will soften it up, make it look a little bit cleaner. And when we do go at it with we'll go at it with all the way closed with the clippers no guard, and then if we don't get it out then we go with the liners. But as you can see here, all the way closed is doing a pretty good job of getting that line out. There's still traces of it, but of course I'm gonna go back with it with my Babyliss and we'll get that out, no problem. Now, as you can see here, I'm putting on the one guard and I'm going up about a ½ inch. Usually on a fade I go a little higher, but again, this guy said the dark hair up under the dyed hair, he does not want that touch. He wants to leave that as thick as possible. So we're going like a ½ inch, maybe ½ inch. And we're just flicking away some of that dark hair, and you'll see me turn the clippers around in a second and do a little more debulking. And this is a space that we're gonna work with. We're not gonna go too much higher. We're not gonna try to shape up the top because he doesn't want that. He literally just wanted to fade on the side. So now we're just gonna be working with this space. Over the next few minutes, we're just gonna detail, we're gonna get those dark spots out. And once we clean it up and do everything like that, as far as the fade is concerned, it's gonna be pretty much done because again, he didn't want the top touch. So once I finish detailing this, we're gonna go onto the beard and then enhancements and everything like that. But one thing that I like to do with customers is I want to get the fade done. I want to get the guidelines set and out as quickly as possible. The reason being is that way I can spend more time detailing and making sure this thing looks good when you leave the shop. Learning how to do a fade is one thing, but actually learning how to cut, that takes time. It's easy to just get on YouTube and learn how to do a fade. If that's all that barbers did, haircuts wouldn't take but 10-15 minutes. But it takes longer when you're with good barbers because they're gonna take the time after the fade is done to do the detailing, to do what it takes to make sure the fade looks good, because hair doesn't grow the same. It does not all grow the same. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm dealing with a customer I have not dealt with before. So I don't know how his hair is. I don't know if there's any kinks in his hair. So even though I finished the fade 2 minutes ago, I'm gonna take extra time to detail. I'm gonna take extra time to learn how to do this stuff, because I don't know where he would have any cowlicks. I don't know where he'd have any light spots. Like, as you can see, there's a light spot in the back of his head there. You don't know what you're dealing with new customers, so it's important to take your time. You don't want to focus on being the fastest barber. You want to focus on being the most detailed. So here you're gonna see me setting in my vertical line. I'm getting ready to start on the hairline. You can't see it from this angle, but the left side of his hairline had been nicked pretty good, I guess from the previous barber. So he told me to take it a little higher, not to push him back, nothing crazy, but he told me to take it a little higher just to make sure that it is straight across. So you see me setting in a blueprint for a line. There's a jump cut right here. You see where I have a blueprint for the line. This is not the finished line. I'm not sending nobody out the shop like this, but this is a blueprint for the line. I like to do a blueprint, and you'll see me do it for the beard as well. I like to do a blueprint. That way I can sit back, look at the hair from different angles, and see where I want the line before I set it in stone. And part of the reason I do that is because if you have tap and go trimmers or just really sharp ones like the FX3s, once you hit the hair, it's gone. You can't put it back on there. So I like to be careful and know where I want the line before I hit it. So right here, you see him showing me the way he wanted his beard. And this is because I asked him again. Even though I already know what he wants, I'm asking again. I'm showing attention to detail, making sure I didn't miss anything by asking again. So I'm getting started on the beard here. Just like with the hairline, and this is gonna probably be infuriating if you're OCD, you're gonna see me make a semi-straight line to where I want the beard, but you don't see me set it in hard yet. You know what I mean? You don't see me, I'm not putting it where it's gonna be in the end. I'm just kind of setting it up because I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna look at it from both sides. And once I get both sides done, make sure it's where I want it to be, and then I'll set it in. Now this does make a haircut longer, but when I'm dealing with a first time client, I like to know exactly what I'm dealing with. I like to, once I do it, I'm gonna do it right. So to me, I treat it like a paper. I treat it like an English paper. You write what you want to write, you do what you want to do, but you have a rough draft. You look at that rough draft, you see what you can change, you see what you like, you see what you didn't like, and then you make that final draft, and that's what you turn in. You feel what I'm saying? So this is what I'm doing with this beard. That's what I do with hairlines. This is what I do anytime I have a new customer. I submit that rough draft to myself, to my eyes. I look back and see what I'm doing. I see what I like, I see what I didn't like, I see the way the customer's head shaped, I take that into effect, then I go in and set in the actual cut that I want. Another reason that I'm doing that, as I'm doing the same thing on the other side, another reason that I want to make sure that I get it right is because we're going to be using a good deal of enhancements. He asked me for them personally, so you natural only barbers, don't be jumping on me. He asked for both Topic and for the air gun, so we're going to be using both of those, but I want your cut to still be good once I take that off. You feel me? So I make sure it's straight beforehand. So here, like I said, you see me using a Topic. I'm gonna be using Topic on his head, and I'm gonna be using the air gun on the beard. Some people like light Topic to make it look more natural, but he likes it to be a little dark. He likes it to. He doesn't mind whether you can tell whether it's enhancements or not. So we put it on a little bit dark. I don't mind it at all. I actually love that look. Some people don't, but this customer did. So now we're working on the beard because we're getting ready to do the same thing to the beard. But before we get the enhancements on the beard, we want to make sure the beard itself is straight. As I'm here, I also start working on the mustache because he didn't want to cut off or anything. He didn't want it trimmed down volume-wise, but he did want it to be a little bit sharper than it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on the mustache. We're gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. We definitely come back to it a little later to finish it up after the cut is done, but we go ahead and set in the way we want the beard to look, the mustache to look now, to go ahead and get that out the way. So now you see me going back to the beard. It may seem like I'm hitting the same spots, but I'm trying to make the beard as sharp as possible naturally, because again, we are about to hit this thing with some enhancements, but we want to make sure this thing is sharp. This guy has a nice grade of hair as far as his beard goes, so I want to make sure it's as sharp as possible. I want to make sure it flows into everything else pretty well. We're going to be getting the bottom of the beard and the neck. We're going to get all that cut off in a little bit, but right now I'm just trying to get the top straight. And make sure that from the bottom of the beard to the tip of the beard, it's sharp. And I usually fade these, but he requested to keep the full beard. He didn't want the tip faded or anything like that. So we're just gonna make sure it's sharp from the tip to the goatee. So now I'm getting the goatee shaped up as well, and what I'm doing now is I'm going over the little things. Some things that some barbers may not even pay attention to, but I'm making sure that this goatee is boxed up. I'm making sure there's no extra little hair between the goatee and the soul patch up under his lip. I'm focused on the little things. I want him to look as clean as possible. These are things that keep clients coming back. It's more than just a cut, it's the extra things. And as I'm doing this and I'm getting ready to do the enhancement and everything, he also then asked me to spray the goatee as well. So it's a good thing that I was already focused on details, because it wouldn't have looked good if I sprayed the goatee without lining it up. So now you see me going back over the mustache and everything and making sure it's as sharp as I want it to be. So now we're gonna get into this air gun work. As you can see, I already did a little bit on the beard. Again, this is more of a rough draft type thing. We're gonna sharpen it up a little later. But we got a starter line for the beard. Now we're spraying the goatee. Some customers like this, some don't, but this customer requested for the color on the goatee. And when I show him the mirror in a little bit, you'll see him ask me for even more, because this customer likes that. Some customers like it, some customers don't. This one does. So you may say I'm spraying a lot, but I'm just doing what he asked me for. So I'm gonna let you in on something that I do a lot in my shop. It works for me, it may not work for you, but I'm in a heavy word of mouth town. They don't use a lot of social media. They do, like I said, it's more word of mouth and everything like that. As you can see, instead of using like a color applicator or things like that to make sure my color is right, I'm using a business card. And it may seem like, oh well, I just grabbed the closest sharp thing I can find. That's part of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's part of it. But another part of it is it's a subconscious thing. When I'm lining this customer up and I'm putting this color on this customer, I'm showing him that, hey, I have business cards. So that's kind of a subconscious thing that I do. And more often than not, that customer asks me for a card at the end of the service, if he enjoyed the service, of course. Now this may not work for you. I know it works for me because I'm in an older town, older age demographic anyway. So this works for me. It may not work for you, but that's one thing that it's a moneymaker for me. So at this point, I'm showing him the mirror. As you can see, I am not done with this cut yet. What I'm doing is I'm checking the progress. I'm making sure that I'm along the lines of what he wants, and I'm doing the things that he wants me to do. At this point, he is satisfied with the fade. He's satisfied with the beard, even though I'm gonna clean the beard up. He just wants to make sure that, of course, I clean up the little hairs up under his neck, which of course I will. But he also asked me for even more color on his beard. As you can see, there's gray on his beard, and he wanted me to hit that with the air gun, which is not something I normally do, but he asked for it, so I'm gonna do it to try to cover up some of that some of that gray. As I'm doing this, again, I'm using that business card as a guideline. I don't really need it because I'm just spraying the beard in general. But again, it's a subconscious thing. He sees that I have a business card now. Not only that, while I'm doing this, my eyes are darting over to other places. I'm looking at the fade, I'm looking at the beard. While I'm doing this, I'm making sure that I don't find any other mistakes, and which I do find some little hair that I need to get, so I'll use a shaver. The thing about barbering, a lot of times you're not gonna get everything at first. So even once you think you're done with the cut, it's okay to look around and notice a problem. That doesn't mean you messed up. It doesn't mean that, you're not doing your job good. It's just, hey, different angles show you different things. So minus a little cleanup work on the beard, I'm pretty much done with this cut. He does, after all, ask me to sponge his hair. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of putting product in there so I can sponge his hair. But this is the finished look. This is what he asked for. He was very satisfied. As of right now, he's getting ready to set another appointment with me. But these are the things that I stress. If you want to turn a first-time customer into a recurring customer, details, details, details. Focus on the details. I could have finished this cut 20 minutes before I finished it, but I was focused on details. Not only that, but I fulfilled the customer's request. I repeatedly asked him what he needed, even in the middle of the service, because sometimes, you know, you think of things after the fact. It's all about showing the customer that you care about how they look. And if you're in the barber profession, 90% of the time you do care. So show them that you care, and that's what's gonna keep them coming back. And here you see me giving him the card. This is why I say, if you have business cards, try that trick out the next time you put a topic on. You never know what will happen. So YouTube, those are my tips. I'm sure that there are more tips that I missed. I'm sure there's something I didn't even think of. Feel free to drop whatever tip you think I missed, or any tip you want other barbers to know in the comments, and I'll be sure to try them out. I may make another video on it, you never know. But I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Work on your details, get you some business cards, and I will see you guys on the next video.